Hi, morning. It's Katie here. I'm going to take us through a shorter practice, a more dynamic flow or power flow. So we're looking to build that little bit of heat and fire within that inner tapas. Maybe to kind of wake things up, bring a bit of awareness and energy into the body here. So we'll start in a fairly lifted child's pose. So you might come around onto your mats, taking your knees fairly wide here, toes towards each other, and then you could sink down onto your forearms. If you want to grab yourself a block, you could place your block down on the ground here for the head to rest on. So setting yourself up here in your child's pose to begin. And take a little bit of time to maybe think about sinking down towards the ground here. So seeing if you can perhaps invite some sense of softness around the chest, around the shoulders, and really kind of rest the body down into your mat as we begin. Can you bring some sense of awareness towards the breath here? Perhaps breathing to the back of the body, so around the back of the shoulders, around the parts of the ribcage that kind of wrap to the side of the body. So each inhale expanding slightly upwards into the back line of the body, and each exhale perhaps softening down again. You might take a few breaths of an exhale through the mouth here, breathing that out onto your mat, setting to the side anything that you want to set to the side here. And then perhaps finding that single point of entry for the breath. So that might be closing down the mouth and breathing fully through your nose here, or you can stay breathing through the mouth if that's more comfortable today. Single point of entry or focus to bring the breath in and the breath out. That prana or energy drawing in, absorbing into the body, and then excess back out. And we'll take maybe 10 rounds of breath here. See if you can find a sense of rhythm or steadiness with your breath. And then staying with the slow, steady breaths here, reaching the hands out in front of you, and then lifting up into your tabletop, finding a cat pose shape here. So rounding or arching upwards through the shoulders, pushing the shoulder blades away from each other, looking to knees or to the navel, and then you can drop the belly down, find your cat pose, your cow pose even. Sink the hips back towards the heels, and we'll take a few rounds of those together here. So it's a lift up through your cat pose, and then a sink back down into your child's pose. Rolling cow pose. So we're thinking about sending the center of gravity backwards and forwards in this movement. We're going to take this into a roll all the way through to our cobra pose as well. So the next time that you come back, take the knees a little bit further backwards. Come into your child's pose, reach the hands all the way forward here. And again, we're going to lift up through our cat pose, but keeping it going here. Bend through the elbows, take the torso all the way down to the ground, and then squeeze the elbows to the side of the body and lift through the chest to find your cobra. Big push back into your child's pose. And again, we'll take another 3 rounds here. So inhale to come through. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. And then exhale to push back. Keeping that moving. See if you can find some sense of kind of flowing movement through the spine. An option to stay with this movement in cobra, or to bring the palms back, push into your up dog, drop the knees back, and then again scoot back to child's pose. We'll add another 3 in here, so keeping the movement going, lifting to cobra or up dog, child's pose. Let's take one more. Lift up and open, And then meeting back in child's pose. Lifting onto the fingertips, so palms are lifted here, almost like you're trying to grab something on the mat. Sinking down into the space around your armpits. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. Can you place the palms back down? Come up through your cat pose, all the way down onto the belly again here. Taking the arms wide, in line with the shoulders, elbows facing towards the side. Tops of the feet, top of the mat, or back of the mat even, toes towards each other. And then can you push into the palms, squeeze through the back line of the body to lift the chest, open wide cobra. Exhale to roll back down. Let's take another 3 here. Can you use the back of the body to lift up, so squeezing glutes towards each other. Rolling back down. Hands are there as a support. Lifting. Rolling down. One more. Lift up. Rolling back down. Palms slide underneath the shoulders. Toes tuck. Child's pose with the toe stretch. So hips pushing back towards the heels. And then come and find that toe stretch and take it into downward facing dog. Pausing when you're in your first downward facing dog, and take that time here to really kind of pedal out through the feet, bending one knee, bending the opposite knee. If you prefer to rise onto the toes, coming high to the toes, and then sinking into the heels a couple of times. We'll move through our rolling planks from here. The focus might be on rippling the spine forwards today. So from your downward facing dog, you start to move the spine forward, ripple into your plank pose. Let's hold plank pose, whether you're on the toes or on the knees. Take a breath in and out. Can you hover knees to the ground and then scoot the hips back, downward facing dog? We'll take another 5 here, rolling forwards to your plank. Knees drop, hips scoot back and to the sky. Rolling forwards to your plank. Knees drop, hips scoot back to the sky. Twice more, moving through the movement. You can always drop the knees and find rest, or taking one more. We're going to meet in downward facing. When you're in your downward facing dog, taking a slightly shorter stance, coming back onto the balls of your feet, knees slightly bent. Can we take the right hand, reach for opposite shin or outside of the ankle, twisting to look underneath, left arm. Same on the opposite side, right palm comes back, left hand reaches for the outside of right shin or right ankle, twisting to look underneath, right arm this time. Breath in, breath out to come back. Look forward, hop step or walk top of the mat, forward fold. Letting everything hang out here for a moment. See if you can push the tailbone to the sky and let the chest hang down here. Option to take hold of opposite elbow. Either way, you can let the head kind of hang out here. Maybe you take a gentle swing side to side or stay where you are. And then release hold of the elbow, slow roll all the way up to standing. As you rise, take the hands overhead, palms come together, landing at the heart. Let's take that again. Hands reach to the sky, hands come wide, all the way down to your forward fold. Lifting halfway this time, think lengthen the spine, hands wide, shins on knees. Falling down, just step to plank pose, one foot and then the other. And then can you find a chaturanga shape? So come forwards on the toes, bend the elbows, lift the chest, drop the torso, cobra, or find your up dog here. And we'll meet downward facing dog. So bring yourself through to your downward facing dog here. You can take a moment to ground evenly through both palms. See if you can find a sense of evenness in the shoulders as well here. So both shoulders pushing back towards the hips. Bringing your center of gravity into the left foot, right heel finds the sky behind. Bend through your left knee slightly, and then can you bring right knee through to the chest, rolling towards your plank pose. Really tuck the knee in as tightly as you can towards the chest here. And then let's push the heel back to sky. We'll take that 3 more times. So inhale, roll to plank. Exhale, heel to sky. This time slightly different. Can the knee come through to your opposite elbow? Exhale, heel to sky. Again, knee through to the outside of your right elbow. Exhale, heel to sky. This time, can the right foot step to the outside of right hand? Take a moment to ground through your left palm here, and then reach that right hand towards the sky. Take a big breath in, and a big breath out. Right hand comes down, left knee drops for a moment here. So take the right foot to the back of the mat. You could find side plank with the left knee down here, right hand reaches up and over, shoulders to stack. Or you can take your left leg long, find side plank with the knee lifted. So if you can lift through the hips, take it high here, breath in and breath out. And then you take your right hand down, plank pose, whether you're on toes or the knees. Optional push up here, lowering to the ground, and then lifting back. This time through your vinyasa, lift and find your back bend, meeting downward facing dog. And take a moment to pedal out the feet in your downward facing dog. We'll repeat that on the opposite side. So when you're ready, left leg finds the sky, three-legged dog. On the inhale, knee through to chest. Exhale, heel to sky. Knee through to chest. Exhale, heel to sky. Knee through to opposite elbow. Exhale, heel to sky. Knee through to the outside of left elbow. Exhale, heel to sky. And then can you step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Keep the right knee lifted here. Push the right heel backwards. Right palms down. Think long through the whole body here. So the head is reaching forwards and the heel is pushing backwards. And then you lift the left hand open towards the sky. Breath in and breath out. Let's take the left hand down, side plank again, whether you drop the knee or step the left foot back. Left hand finds the sky this time. On the outside edge of your right foot, hips are lifted, and then again, find your plank pose, optional push up here, and then drop the knees or find your chaturanga to the ground. Lifting to your back bend, meeting child's pose this time. So hips scoop back towards the heels. Coming onto the fingertips again here, sinking the chest down towards the ground. Let's take a few more rounds of breath. And then can you place the palms down, lift back to meet in downward facing dog. This time, rising high on the toes, bend the knees, look forward, take your hop or step top of the mat, forward fold. Lifting halfway, folding back down, big inhale to find the sky, exhale, palms come to your hearts. So we're going to take a few rounds of our sun salutations here. For a moment, you might focus down on your feet, so bringing the awareness towards the ground. We're going to add in a chair pose into our sun A today, and a little bit of a toe squat as well there. So taking the feet a little bit closer towards each other today, you might bring the toes to touch, or the toes towards each other top of your mat. Can you release the arms alongside the body, squeeze through the shoulder blades, stand tall. And then inhale to reach the hands towards the sky. Exhale to sit to chair pose. We're going to take this first one nice and slow here. So if you can bend through the knees, tailbone might be slightly tucked here. See how it feels though? Doesn't feel good, don't do it. Biceps wrap towards the ears, and center of gravity might go to the back of the body here. So center of gravity into the heels. You can always take hands to heart or to your hips. And then you start to lower all the way down, finding that lift up of the heels, hands come towards the ground. And then pushing the hips towards the sky, forward fold. Palms land, step or hop to your plank pose from here. Find our chaturanga shape, lifting to up dog or cobra, toes tucked, downward facing dog. Again, looking forward, find your way back to the top of the mat, forward fold. Lifting halfway, folding back down, inhale to rise, exhale, chair pose. Again, organize yourself here. Find that crouching down shape. Maybe you rise onto the toes this time, and then keep on the toes as you lower to the squat. Hands find the ground, hips lift, forward fold. And then palms plant. If you're focusing on your jump backwards, Lean forwards, look forward, bend the elbows, and then step or hop to your chaturanga shape. To the ground, lifting to your chest, open, toes tuck, downward facing dog. We're going to take another 3 rounds here together. So from your downward facing dog, look forward, find the top of the mat forward dog. Lifting halfway, folding back down. Inhale to find the sky, exhale, chair pose. Again, your hands might be high in the sky here. You might be on the toes. Can you sit lower, but hold the pose? And then take the hips down to the heels, toe squats. Hands find the ground, forward fold. Lifting, looking forward, and then hop step through your vinyasa. So to your plank pose. Chaturanga shape to the ground. Lift to open the chest through the collarbones. Pushing back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in your downward facing dog. Look forward, find the top of your mat, forward fold. Lifting, hop, folding back down. Inhale to find the sky. Exhale to find chair pose. Again, find the chair. Find your expression of this pose. Maybe sit lower, maybe rise to toes. And then can you come all the way down to toe squat, hands aligned, hips. Lifting the chest forwards, bend the knees, hop or step through your vinyasa of choice. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Looking forwards, top of the mat, forward fold. Lifting halfway. Fold back down. Inhale to find the sky. One more round. Exhale, chair pose. Finding your chair. Maybe again you're on the toes here. Can you breathe still in the pose? Can the breath be slow and steady? And then squatting back down to your toes pose, hands lag, hips lift. Place the palms, step or hop through your vinyasa. So again, hop yourself back, lift and open through the chest to find your back bend, and then meet downward facing dog. This time we'll pause, downward facing dog. So when you get there, again, take a moment to breathe. You might pedal out through the feet. Take another 2 rounds of breath. And then again, can you take right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. This time, bend through the right knee. Take the right knee high as you want to here. Heel peeling towards the glute. Now you could stay here, knee high, or flip your dog to wild thing by taking the right foot all the way down behind, flipping your hips upside down, push the hips to the sky, open the heart, hand reaching up and over. We're going to come into our high lunge from here. Right hand comes back to the top of the mat, drop the hips down, and the right foot step forward to right thumb, high crescent lunge. Take a moment again to look for stability in the lower legs, bend through that back knee, to take the back knee almost towards the ground. Take a breath in and a breath out. On the inhale, lengthen through both legs. Exhale to sink through both knees, cactus the arms. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to sinking cactus. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to take the hands towards the ground, side plank. Right foot finds left. Right hand opens to sky, whether you are on the knee or the knee is lifted here. Take a breath in and a breath out. Right hand comes down to the ground, plank pose, optional push-up, take the chest down, re-lengthen through the arms, and then through your vinyasa, chaturanga, lift to find your back bend, meeting downward facing dog. And again, we're going to take this straight to the opposite side. So in your downward facing dog, left leg this time finds the sky, 3-legged. Can the knee bend? Can you take the knee high here? So opening the hip, heel towards the glute. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you take your wild thing, left foot flips around, hips flip upside down, and then lifting up. Maybe you're on left toes here, heart is open, shoulder is in the joint here. Take a breath in, breath out, high lunge, left hand forwards, left foot forwards. Rise, take a moment to find your feet. Sink into the knees, Tailbone is tucked. Inhale to lengthen through the legs, reaching up. Exhale to cactus the arms, sink the back knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to sink. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to take the hands down. Step into your side plank. Left foot back of the mat. Left hand finds the sky. Again, knee or knee lifted. Take a breath in. Breath out to find your plank pose. Optional push-ups. Bending through the elbows. Re-lengthen through the arms. And then through your vinyasa to the ground. Lifting to your back bend. Meeting downward facing dog or your child's pose here. And again, we're going to take a moment to pause and to breathe. Can that breath slow down? Can you look for that sense of steadiness again here? Maybe that single point of entry for the breath. Hopefully we found a little bit of heat already. We're going to take one more flow here with a little bit of challenge in our balance as well. But to start with, when you're ready, can you come back to downward facing dog? And then can your right leg find the sky, three-legged dog. We're going where we started. Right knee comes to chest, crunching in. Exhale, heel to sky. Inhale, knee comes through to chest, roll to plank. Exhale, heel to sky. Knee comes to opposite elbow, hold there, or find your fallen triangle for the right foot underneath. Come onto the inside of your left foot, lift the hips, lift the left hand up. Option to hover the foot if you want to. Then can we come back, three-legged dog, retake your right leg to the sky. We're going to come to runner's lunge, right foot steps forwards. Stay low for a moment here, and again, lengthen through the body. Can you take your hands, reach them forward, and then open up to the sky. Bend through that back knee. Take the palms to your heart here. Tailbone is tucked, left knee is bent, and then we're going to travel forwards, crouching warrior. So that bend in the front knee. See if you can keep going, float the back foot. Torso stays low, that bend in the front knee is there. From here, lengthen through your standing leg, warrior three, heel pushes back, toe towards the ground on the back foot. Option to keep your hands at the heart, or to find your reach forwards here, or anywhere for your hands to land. So take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. One more. Can the left toes land high, crescent lunge, and then exhale, three-legged dog. Option for three-legged vinyasa here. Come forward through your chaturanga shape with the right foot lifted. Back bend and then downward facing dog. And again, we're going to repeat exactly the same, opposite side. So this time, left leg might find the sky, three-legged dog. On the inhale, knee through to chest. Exhale, heel to sky. Inhale, knee through to chest. Exhale, heel to sky. Inhale, knee to opposite elbow, holding here, or falling triangle, left foot threads underneath. Right foot down, right hand finds the sky. Maybe you float the foot, maybe you stay here. And then right hand comes down, unravel, three-legged dog. Left foot steps through, stay low, runner's lunge. So again, we're on the back toe, bend through the back knee, bend through the front knee even, as much as you can to bring the chest forwards. Take the hands forwards, and then open up, high lunge. Bend through the back knee. Dropping the tailbone, tucking it under, palms come to heart, bring your central gravity forwards, bend through the front knee. Can you float the back foot, crouching right? And then lengthen through your standing leg, toe pointed towards the ground. Option to take the hands forwards again. Find your thigh or find the hips. Breath in and out. And then you land the back toes high, crescent lunge. Exhale, three-legged dog. And again, your way through your vinyasa, so forward to your chaturanga. Lift to find your back bend. Meeting either child's pose or downward facing dog here. Again, that pause to find your breath. And before we come down to rest here, option to play with your dolphin pose. Let's take a few rounds of breath first. Maybe there's a few exhales through your mouth. And then let's set ourselves up to start with. So whether you're taking the interlaced palm variation or whether you're taking the forearm variation, forearms parallel and palms down, we're going to start by measuring the space between the elbows. So take your hands to opposite elbows, so elbows are stacked underneath the shoulders. And then you choose forearms, palms down, fingers spread, hands active, or interlace the fingers. Last pinky finger is tucked underneath here as well. Active through the hands. Can we tuck the toes, lift the hips towards the sky, and see if you can keep the head off the ground here. So pushing or rounding upwards through the shoulders. Option to stay here or take a few scapular push-ups. Coming forwards with the nose, bringing your central gravity forwards, and then back nose between elbows. 3 more times. So forwards and back. The movement is slow and steady, and probably quite strong. Maybe there's one more here if you want to. And then let's drop the knees down. Take the forehead to the ground, so grab yourself a block if you want to place a block underneath your forehead, and take the hands alongside the body, palms facing up. And again, can we take maybe 5 rounds of breath here? Those of you that want to add anything else in here, we're going to pause for a little bit of time. And I'm going to take us through a child's pose side stretch. If you know that you want to come back to your dolphin pose one more time, then give yourself that space to play with it here on your own. Just taking care of the things around you, and maybe you do a few scapular push-ups. If you want to find something a little bit more stretchy, let's take the block out of the way, reach the hands forwards here, child's pose. And then lift the torso, walk the hands to the right side of your mat, left hand on top of the right. We're going to interlace the left fingers over the right fingers here. So it's a fist of the top hand, but the lower hand fingers are reaching. Reaching the hands to the right side of your mat and then sinking down into your child's pose. Left hip, pull backwards here. Let's take a few rounds of breath here. And then can you come back through to center? Same on the opposite side. So hands to the left side of your mat, whether they're on the edge or off. Right palm is on top of the left. Fingers are interlaced, and then again sinking back into your child's pose. And then let's come back through to center. Maybe take a moment in the middle. If you were playing with a dolphin pose, you might meet us in a downward facing dog. So wherever you are, coming to a downward facing dog. Look forwards, almost like a walk, top of the mat, forward. And then can you walk the feet to the edge of the mat, toes turn outwards here, and then sit the hips down into your Malasana or Yogi Squat. We're going to come all the way down onto our mat from here. We're going to move through our boat pose to get there. So that means a little bit of challenge and balance to get into our boat pose. And you can take a hand down to kind of catch the hips in a moment when the sit bones come to the ground, or you can reach the hands forwards here, lengthen through the spine, and then start to take the sit bones towards the ground here. And hopefully at some point they'll land, maybe with a bit of a bump. Lifting the shins up, parallel to the ground. Toes might touch here. Hands, find the knees to self-adjust. Lift the chest, lift the heart open. Shoulder blades squeeze back together. And then option to float the hands here. If you're working on lengthening through one or both legs, maybe adding that in. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. One more. And then super slowly, you come all the way down onto the ground. Take a moment to land in any kind of shape here. From here, we'll take a twist before we come into rest. Left knee comes into the chest. Give it a little bit of a hug here. Squeezing left knee in. And then the right hand stays on the left knee. You can then come across the body into your twist. Both shoulders or backs of the shoulders down on the mat here. Unravel your legs if you want to, or find a different variation of your twist. But take a couple of breaths in that twist here. So look for your sweet spot and maybe pause when you find it. And then can we unravel back through to center. Left leg goes long, right knee comes into chest. Give it a little bit of a hug and squeeze in first. And then left hand on the right knee, pulling it across the torso. Again, into that twist on the opposite side. Maybe breathing into the side body here. Let's come back through to center. Take any kind of movement that you want here. Maybe 10 rounds of breath. So slow, steady breaths. It could be bringing both knees into chest. You could take a child's happy baby twists. Anything else that you enjoy here. If you work with shoulder stand, maybe shoulder stand. But again, it doesn't have to be a particular movement. It can also be a different level around. We'll find perhaps a bit of rest here before we come to close of the practice today. So find a resting pose that feels good for you. Maybe it's the legs stretched out long on your mat. Maybe it's knees bent to sky, not together, and hands out wide. Take a moment again to maybe sink the shoulders down to the ground. Maybe tuck the chin under slightly here. Palms can be up or down, or you can rest the hands somewhere on the torso. And maybe you want to close down the eyes here, or you might find a soft focus somewhere out in front of you. We'll take a couple of minutes here in our rest today. And if the mind is feeling really busy and you want something to focus on, maybe focus on the sounds in the space that is around you. Or perhaps a gentle awareness of your breath. So staying in that resting pose for a couple of minutes here. Maybe inviting a sense of softness around the front of the body, around the face, the jaw. Maybe inviting a sense of softness around the front of the shoulders. Letting them sink down towards the ground. And it might be that you want to stay where you are and rest for a little bit longer here. If you'd like to come through to a seat to close your practice, then starting to invite gentle wriggles back into fingers and toes. Slowly expanding those wriggles to circles of wrists or stretches. And again, we'll take maybe 10 rounds of breath here. For those of you that want to come to a seat, to take your time to come through to that seat. So you might take a roll to one side or something else. And then eventually making your way through to the seat here. If you're joining seated, you're welcome to sit yourself on a prop. I can sit myself on a block, finding a variation of a seat that works for you here. So that might be cross-legged, it might be kneeling or something else. We might take a few big rolls through the shoulders when we get there as well. So a little bit of movement around shoulders. You can move the neck around here at the same time. And bringing yourself to stillness somewhere on your mat. Add a favorite mudra in with the hands here if you want to. Maybe the eyes close down again, or the focus comes towards the ground. And we'll take 3 rounds of breath here to bring ourselves to a close of practice. So when you're ready, deep breath in together. And then exhale or sigh through the mouth. Take 2 more, so deep breath in together. And exhale or sigh. Let's take 1 more. Observing yourself in the moment. When you're ready to close, you might bring palms together at the heart here. Taking a moment to honour your practice. To send yourself compassion and kindness for taking the time to be with your practice here. And then when you're ready to close, we'll take a gentle bow to self and to each other. And we will leave our practice there for today. Thank you for joining online. If you have any questions or want any other practices like this, please do reach out to me. My email address, I'll put it down below. Otherwise,